Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we are back again with another Alliance War video. This is War 3 of current season, I forgot, 12, 13, well, this season. Anyways, so we are fighting up against BRJP. Yeah, definitely a solid alliance. And I am on path 7 this time. It's my turn. We kind of take turns for that path just because we do scout them and then use that tool and whatever not to kind of predict your opponents. Anyways, turned out that surprise my first fight once again, and no matter where I run, is Domino. So luckily I have Quake with Black Widow synergy, which is basically my standard take on everything. And yeah, so we're going up against Domino on this breakthrough node. The node isn't anything special. However, I did this fight just before kind of heading to sleep, so I will make a couple of silly slip-ups. Luckily, I do not get punished too hard for it. There are no crits and I don't get stunned, but this is definitely kind of like me being sleepy and kind of off, I don't know, focus. But yeah, we're still gonna get the fight done. We're doing everything as we normally do, aside from eating a couple of hits to the face. But the Domino is going down slowly but surely, and because of Black Widow synergy, we can't fail our raids, so we're always kind of like safe for them to proc, and that also means we're not really taking any crit fail damage, which is my favorite part about quaking Domino, which is pretty much the main reason why this is my favorite solution to Dominoes in Alliance War, just because you don't have to take that fun and interactive damage. Now, as you can see, she's at 9%. I drop my heavy attack. She's at 2%. I decide to finish off the fight with my level 1. And so 1 minute in the fight, it is over. Domino goes down and I am moving on to the next path. Now, fair disclaimer, every single fight in this war up until the boss fight is going to be with Quake. So once again, if you do not like watching Quake fights, you can just skip till the end where we have another Invisible Woman boss solo. Now, for that second fight, I did scout it, and there was a good chance it is going to be Elsa Bloodstone, as I kind of noticed from Enzo Eigen's war video that she didn't really pop up on that tool, but the same kind of like stats and calculated through. Anyway, so I didn't take that fight. I had to ask for backup to come because I couldn't use Nick Fury on that one, and if she had Suicide Zone, I would take a lot of damage with Quake, which is something I wanted to avoid. So yeah, I called in a backup for that one. He took care of that, and now I'm basically good to go for the next set of fights. Also, there was a node empty, and this is basically my first and only fight technically in section 2 of this map before we head on to kind of like joint fights and the mini bosses and so on and so forth. But this is Unstoppable Colossus, so there's nothing too tricky about this guy. We have class advantage. He occasionally goes unstoppable like we care, and aside from that, yeah, a standard easy simple Quake matchup. I did make a mistake earlier. I boosted up before healing. That was quite silly from me. Definitely a mistake. Didn't think it through. However, I did put on the big boost just because I will be finishing the entire war kind of in this one go, kind of like with the energy that I have right now. And so Captain Marvel movie, once again, she goes unblockable, has limited immunity. Typically, you kind of see Thing or something of the sorts here. But Captain Marvel movie, well, why not? We have Quake now. This, for whatever reason, Captain Marvel movie quite occasionally tags me, so I do not know why, but I still can't break out of the tradition where I eat a combo or at least a couple of hits from this champion. It's just something to do with her animations and that low kick and the way she transitions. She does get the better of me sometimes, but typically, because she's not in binary, that doesn't do too much damage. Unfortunately, here she did manage to land like a full combo on me. On the little kind of upside, she does place armor break on you, and that, however, means I did get a slight amount of willpower heal back, so hey, silver linings. However, here, 1 minute in the fight, she's halfway down, and my Quake's at 56% health, so we're still hanging in there, fairly stable. I think this is going to be the last kind of major mistake of the war as well. I'm not going to lose all that much health. Don't exactly know what happened there as well. I think I forgot to start charging my heavy attack, and my Quake just started walking towards Captain Marvel movie. Yeah, but the fight's nearly over anyway. She's at like last 11% health, minute and 40 seconds left in the fight. Not too long left. We just need to wait for the last set of aftershock charges to expire and she goes down. So yeah, once again, Captain Marvel movie, I don't know, there's something about her. She tags me. And yeah, so now we have another domino. This is pretty much a standard base placement. I think like 4 out of 5 wars as a minimum. You get to see domino on this safeguard kinetic instigator node. I will heal up my quake now just because I'm not suicidal. I can't accept the fact that I probably can make mistake and that can cost me. So we are healing up using some potions, but it's not too bad overall. And yeah, so basically here we have done this fight a bunch of times. Once again, because of Black Widow synergy, our raids cannot fail. All of them will proc guaranteed, so we can play against Domino pretty much as against any other champion. Now, the one thing that you do have to be kind of careful about is that double pistol medium hit, because that makes you alter the timing of your follow-up dexterity, and basically you have to have a slight pause. Because it's 2-hit animation, it takes longer time, and if you kind of rush to dexterity straight after that, you will end up getting hit in the face, or more often getting kicked in your legs. But yeah, so that is the only kind of thing that you do need to get used to when you are quaking dominoes, is that timing is different whenever she does her double hit, and you need to react to it accordingly, and you need to change your weight timing. Now, I was hoping I'm gonna get to do the first mini boss on the right side as well, which was the thing, but somebody managed to get there before me, so we're not gonna see us quaking down the thing. However, we're moving on to Darkhawk mini boss on that recovery strike back node, and this is a fairly easy node for Quake to take, just because there's no limber, there's no stun immunity, and strike back doesn't matter because we're not throwing our special attacks, and recovery doesn't really matter either. Now, I did make a slip up there. I didn't really mean to heavy him, but hey, you know, it's not like it changed much or it hurt me, so long as I don't give him too much power either by getting hit or dropping more accidental heavy attacks, and we'll be fine. We just don't want him to get his level 1 basically. But yeah, so as you can see, he's going down fairly steadily. Now, we're not running Suicide Mastery, so it's not the maximum kind of damage output for the Quake, but we do have a fairly substantial amount of boosts on, which is definitely helping us here. And so yeah, he's going down quite steadily. 2 minutes left in the fight. He's at 37%, so not too long left now. Another set of aftershocks expire. He's at 24%. We are pretty much at the same health that we started. I don't think we took a hit in a block. Maybe we did, but that's about it. So he's pretty much down here. I do choose to throw a heavy attack just to knock his health bar a bit as well. And now we're finishing the fight, and it is over. So very simple, very easy fight for Quake. And now last mini boss before the boss fight, and it's Annihilus. Now, Annihilus is quite a big jerk on defense, because his animations are quite jerky as well, and sometimes you can't even really tell when he finishes the combo and when he doesn't, and it's something definitely people do need to get used to, because his animations are kind of like very robot-like. Every movement doesn't really flow together all that well with the next, and there is a slight pause after every hit, so you do need to kind of like be on top of your game, kind of like trying to figure out what exactly Annihilus is doing, when he finished his combo, when he didn't. You need to count the hits, so on and so forth. But since it's Quake, she can bypass vast majority of his abilities, or simply don't care when he goes unstoppable either. So it's a quite a good matchup here. Obviously, he's fully immune to all debuffs. That means stun as well, and that means he's going to be constantly trying to hit me, and I'm not going to be able to take a break from constant evades, which does make the fight a bit trickier. I think about at this point my finger was starting to hurt a bit, because I was doing many fights with Quake in a row, and it definitely does take its toll on your like wrists and fingers. It's definitely often a good idea to take a slight pause in between fights when you're using Quake, just to let your hands rest, because quite often, at least in my experience, you do start to kind of like slow down or get chipped here and there by occasional hits once your hands go tired. And obviously the longer you are continuously swiping and pressing that heavy, the more kind of like toll it puts on your fingers, especially typically on my right side. My heavy attack is I'm probably pressing it too hard, but it definitely feels the workload much more than just a regular fighting. But anyways, so a minute and a half in, and let's go down. Didn't really have any issues over there. And at the same time, Link has gone down to Invisible Woman, so boss is free for taking. That means that this war we do not have to try and attack her linked, which makes it quite a bit easier. So I don't use any extra boost or anything of the sort. I start the fight by taking a couple hits in the face on purpose. I do want to time myself so that at the time when I die and real Nick Fury comes out, I do have just under 2 bars of power, so I am able to drop 2 level 1 straight away. Unfortunately, here's a critical mistake. I had a few too many charges, and if I were to throw another level 1, I would basically trigger Fury's Fury and I would lose all my tactical charges, which would let her evade. Now that was a risk that I did not want to take, so I made a decision to finish off the rest of the fight with 13 tactical charges on. That means she still cannot evade and we cannot miss. That means when she goes invisible, we don't care about it. However, it also means our hits are not unblockable. But since we are boosted and since we are getting these vulnerability debuffs and exhaustions or whatever else she places on us, we have access to willpower heal, and for most part I can just rely on block baiting heavy attacks to find my openings, because she is going down extremely quickly. As you can see here, the fight lasted barely over a minute. Anyways, that will do for today's war. It is still not over, however, we do have a fairly substantial lead and we are likely to win this one as well. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Once again, I do understand if you don't particularly enjoy watching Quake fights, but at least every war I try to have a couple of fights which are not just like with Quake. In this case it was only the boss fight, but hey, you know, it's Alliance War. You got to do what you got to do for your team to win. Anyways, that will do for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit all the buttons, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. See ya.